Yeah, I don't even know how to define that word dignity, because it's really, it's being itself. It's at the heart of life. If I believe in God, and I believe that God created me, and I believe I came from God, I'm going to God. And that orientation is fundamental to my understanding of dignity, because it doesn't just come out of the air. It's in my being, in my heart and soul. And so, and it's who I am. And so then you think of that passage, it says, well, treat others as you wish yourself to be treated. That too is an expression of dignity. To treat others, how do you uphold their dignity? Well, how would I want to be treated if I'm in that situation? If I'm terribly sick, I'd want someone around me that was comfortable just sitting there holding my hand, that didn't have it. They can't fix my problem. Maybe I have Parkinson's, maybe I have Alzheimer's. You still want to be accompanied. You don't want to be exiled. And you want to be kept clean, and you want to be remembered for who you are, not by your illness, and that your life has value even if right now you're not productive. You know, in a world where we prize productivity and efficiency, that's an attack on dignity sometimes, because at the heart of us is our being. You know, what matters most is your being itself, and that's dignity. So to me, it's not hard to figure out how to uphold dignity, because we have our own innate understanding of how we would want to be treated if we were in that situation. So when you put yourself in someone else's shoes for a second, then you think about, here's what I would want if I were in those shoes, then you can respond generously. Mother Teresa used to say that love, to be authentic, it had to hurt. She used to urge people to love until it hurts. You know, and the reality is, it is difficult. I think of caregivers, you know, the spouse whose husband is suffering from Alzheimer's, and the demands on it, and the backbreaking work, and you can't go out, and you need respite care, and you can't find it. We can't sentimentalize this. And that's why part of the understanding of dignity is the mystery of suffering. There is suffering with illness. There is existential suffering when people have fears and terrors about what's ahead. And all the more reason that we bring spiritual discussions to the fore, and that we think about God and help people come to peace with those fears and those terrors. Because healthcare nowadays is intimidating. It's frightening at times. It's almost impossible to navigate these complex systems that no one understands. You don't have the same doctor from visit to visit. The nurse shifts keep changing. Your files can't be found. On and on. It looks almost like a Kafka novel sometimes. I admire the doctors and nurses and those in the healthcare professions, because they're the healers of our society. You know, they're on the front lines of these challenges. But if we don't address the spiritual components of it, a lot can get lost, and it can become inhuman. Our systems of care can become inhuman. And that can be devastating. And we've seen what happens in the world back in the last century when people are treated with such inhumanity. And this is where Holocausts come from. And this is where the gulags, and where the killing fields, and wherever we don't respect life. So to me, the great challenge in our time is to maintain our humanity in the midst of these marches in science and the dislocation of peoples, is for us to maintain that God-given dignity that we have.